Australia had swept all before them en route to the wheelchair rugby final and were hot favourites against Canada, who'd produced the shock of the tournament by knocking out the reigning champions USA in the semi-finals. The Aussies lived up to their status, scoring within seconds of the start through Riley Batt, who went on to get 11 goals, matching the entire total registered by the Canadians in the first quarter. More one-way traffic in the second as the awesome Australians powered on with Batt in unstoppable form. They led 34-21 at the halfway mark. Try as they might, Canada was simply no match for the mighty Aussies. And by the third quarter, it was already a case of damage limitation, scores few and far between. And the inevitable conclusion saw Australia wrap up the match all too easily. Trevor Hirschfield among the scorers as they triumphed in a high-scoring final 66-51, with Batt contributing 37 goals. After finishing as runners-up in both Sydney and Beijing, Australia finally claimed the gold medal they so desperately craved and were worthy winners. Canada will be delighted to have won the silver. USA, the winners 4 years ago, had to settle for bronze this time. Iran and Brazil met for the bronze medal in the seven-a-side football.
The medal match of the football seven-a-side tournament.
And it was to be a surprisingly one-sided affair, which the Iranians dominated from start to finish. They went ahead in the 17th minute when Rasul Atashafruz cut in from wide to score a superb opener. And the lead was doubled just 3 minutes later when Farzad Meri scored in equally impressive fashion with this blistering shot. By half-time, Iran led by 3-0. Atashafruz claiming his second of the game, poaching from close range. Surely no way back for the Brazilians. In fact, it got worse for them as the onslaught continued in the second half, with Brazil bamboozled. Yacem Bakçki made it 4-0 with 57 minutes played, finishing off a fine move, which was helped by some poor Brazilian defending. And they ended the game in style as Meri produced a really clever finish for his second goal and Iran's fifth in stoppage time to thoroughly underline their dominance. A well-deserved bronze medal for them. The gold medal match saw Eastern European rivals Russia and Ukraine meet in a crunch decider, which was a repeat of the final in Beijing 4 years ago, in which the Ukrainians won their second successive gold. The Russians took a 100% record into the match and dominated the first half. Ivan Patekin setting up Zaura Pagayev for a chance, but he fired wide. Then Alexander Kuligin saw a free kick, well saved by Konstantin Simashko. And Kuligin also fired just wide after a good run. It was 0-0 at half-time, but Ukraine improved in the second period. Anatoly Shevchik coming closest with a shot just too high. But Russia were the better side overall and got the winner in the 44th minute when Pagayev flicked on a long ball and Eduard Ramonov burst through to finish clinically. Ukraine might have sent the game into extra time, but skipper Volodymyr Antonyuk saw his effort kept out by Vladislav Raretki, and Russia held on to gain revenge for Beijing and land their first Paralympics title since Sydney in 2000. It was a deserved win since they won every game in the tournament. Ukraine were second best this time, with Iran third.
In the men's T54 marathon, David Weir of Great Britain was aiming to win a fourth gold medal at these Paralympics. He'd already won the 800 metres, the 1500 and the 5000 metres on the track in the Olympic Stadium. The big question was, could he keep that track speed up over a much longer distance? The course would take the athletes around central London. They started with a small loop of just over 2 miles or 3.5 kilometres, which started at the Mall near Buckingham Palace. Then they would move on to 3 laps of a larger loop of 8 miles or 13 kilometres, the larger loop taking the racers past St Paul's Cathedral and the Tower of London. Early on, Masazumi Soejima of Japan led the pack. He was one of the real contenders for the gold medal. He was one of the few athletes involved in the race who had managed to complete a marathon in under 1 hour and 19 minutes in the past. And that was much faster than Weir had ever managed. Although that wasn't really a fair comparison because that time was set on the downhill course in Boston. Weir was biding his time in the pack, sitting in the slipstream of other wheelchairs, even though the lead rotated around him. Weir was part of a group of 6 athletes who broke away early on in the race. He was joined in that group by the likes of Marcel Hugh of Switzerland, Kurt Fearnley of Australia, out in front here, and Nobukazu Hanaoka and Kota Hokanui of Japan. Tomasz Hamalak of Poland also joined the breakaway pack. Those 6 were content to sit together for long spells of the race. They enjoyed a lead of more than 30 seconds over the rest of the competitors, and all the while they were helping each other maintain a steady pace. The course took the athletes past Buckingham Palace. Fearnley was the leader as they reached the 20-kilometre mark. The other athletes were keeping a close eye on Fearnley. They were well aware of his experience. After all, he had won this event in Athens in 2004 and in Beijing in 2008. Fearnley was also one of the few athletes involved in the race who had been under 1 hour and 19 minutes in the past. The lead continued to rotate as the athletes passed the Tower of London for the second time. And going along the River Thames, with the end in sight, all of the athletes in the leading pack started to accelerate. All the while, Weir was keeping behind the leaders, saving his energy. As they came to Parliament Square for the last time, it was Hanaoka of Japan leading the leading group, with Fearnley just behind, Weir well placed as well. They came to Trafalgar Square with Fearnley out in front. And with just over 6 miles to go, Fearnley was leading the pack of 7. The medals would certainly go to athletes in this pack. They passed St Paul's Cathedral, and as they reached the Tower of London hairpin for the last time, it was Marcel Hugh of Switzerland out in front. The leaders began to accelerate with the finish in sight, and in a frantic end, sprint speed was always going to prove crucial. Weir, being urged on by noisy local support, managed to cross the line first. 1 hour, 30 minutes and 20 seconds his winning time. 4 gold medals for the British athletes in London. Second place went to Hugh of Switzerland, and third to Kurt Fearnley of Australia. There were several experienced athletes competing in the women's marathon T54 classification, and they included the reigning champion in this event, Edith Wolff from Switzerland, who won the gold medal in Beijing. Tatiana McFadden was competing for the United States. She'd already won 3 gold medals and a bronze on the track. Just like David Weir, she was trying to convert sprint speed into marathon glory. She led the entire field for the first 10 kilometres, but then she was swallowed up by the chasing pack. Amanda McGrory, another United States athlete, took the lead for a while. Sandra Graf of Switzerland also moved to the front, although she would move back down the field later on. And Great Britain's Shelley Woods was also part of the pack consistently. She would finish in the medals. Shirley Riley, though, turned out to be the athlete everybody had to keep an eye on. At the 30-kilometre mark, it was Graf who was out in front, but she was biding her time. The leading group numbered 7 riders up to the halfway mark, but then Edith Wolff of Switzerland, who had won a gold medal, 2 silvers and a bronze on the track, pulled out of the race. And that left a group of 6 in with a realistic chance of taking the gold medal. The group of 6 at the front: Christy Dawes, Wakako Sushida, Amanda McGrory, Sandra Graf, Shelley Woods and Shirley Riley, who competed in the T53 classification. On paper, Riley was only the 3rd fastest athlete in the field. Wakako Sushida of Japan was capable of going faster, and so too Amanda McGrory, another competitor from the United States. And as the athletes entered the final kilometre, it came down to a sprint finish. Shirley Riley of the United States had the most strength left after more than 1 hour and 40 minutes of fierce competition. She crossed the finish line first in 1 hour, 46 minutes and 33 seconds. Shelley Woods of Great Britain was second in 1:46.34, Graf of Switzerland third in 1:46.35, and Wolff failed to finish. In the men's marathon T12 classification, the gold medal went to Alberto Suarez Lasso of Spain. And in the men's marathon T46 class, the gold went to Tito Senna of Brazil.
The closing ceremony is a celebration of the Paralympic flame finally going out. We begin with the Paralympic symbol, the agitos, which means I move in Latin, being raised and floated into the evening sky.
Of the Human Endeavour machine, as it's being called, pulled by a team from Help the Heroes charity and carrying the blind and autistic singer Lisa Hermans, who will later sing the national anthem.
The agitos is then blown out of the Olympic Stadium and, like its name suggests, is on the move once again.
And now the ceremony of the raising of the flag to honour the British servicemen and women who've been injured serving their country overseas. Help the Heroes team raise the flagpole with Captain Luke Sinnott climbing to the top to unfurl the Union flag. A supreme feat of courage for Captain Sinnott, who lost both legs in an explosion in Afghanistan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome into the stadium His Royal Highness the Earl of Wessex, patron of the British Paralympic Association, and the President of the International Paralympic Committee, Sir Philip Craven.
Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary for those who can, please stand for the national anthem of the United Kingdom.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save the Queen.
Rory Mackenzie, who lost a leg to a roadside bomb, will now pay tribute to the 4,200 athletes whose endeavours have captured the hearts and minds of so many. Their bodies may be damaged, but their spirit is unquenchable, and their pride in achievement has been beyond joy.
My friends, brothers and sisters of every country, welcome to the last night of the Paralympics here in London. We have all been touched by the triumphs and drama of the Paralympics. Witness to the heroic spirit of the athletes, we have come together in peace for the Games. And through that respect for each other, we have found hope for the future. Let the love that the Paralympics has kindled in our hearts burn brightly as we come together as one for the Festival of the Flame.
164 Paralympians representing all the competing nations with flag escorts now form the shape of a heart in the centre of the arena where our Paralympic athletes have made so many millions of hearts beat faster.
My friends, let the festival commence.
On behalf of all athletes, the newly elected members of the International Paralympic Committee and its Athletes' Council will present a gift of appreciation to the volunteer representatives of London 2012.
Volunteering is in the heart and soul of the British people. 240,000 applied and 70,000 of them have performed their duties over the Summer and Paralympic Games with amazing good humour, great style and above all, great pride.
Ladies and gentlemen, the volunteers of London 2012.
The Games makers have certainly been an inspirational force in making the Games such a huge success.
And now, revealed on the centre sundial stage for the first time, Coldplay. To help bring the curtain down on these weeks of sport, the London band, along with the artistic director Kim Gavin, selected a set list to reflect the season's theme of the ceremony, from autumn through to summer.
Oh, morning come bursting, the clouds amen. Lift off this blindfold, let me see again, and bring back the water, let your ships roll in my heart she left the hold, and the tightrope that I'm walking just sways and ties the devil as he's talking with those angels' eyes.
Coldplay have sold more than 50 million records and are a huge festival band, which reflects the other theme, the spirit of festivals.
Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything you do. They were all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you, and all the things you do, and it was called Yellow. Then I took my turn. Oh, what a thing you've done. It's all yellow.
And now the first special guest of the night, Rihanna, singing Princess of China.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful, incredible Rihanna, followed by the wonderful, incredible British Power Orchestra.
The lead singer of Coldplay, Chris Martin, now introduces the British Para Orchestra to collaborate on their hit, Strawberry Swing.
We were sitting on the strawberry swing.
The lowering of the flag, a further sign that the London 2012 Paralympic Games are coming to a close.
The Mayor of London will hand the Paralympic flag to the International Paralympic Committee President, who will then entrust it to the Mayor of Rio de Janeiro, the host city of the next Paralympic Games.
The sadness of leaving London 2012 is tempered by the anticipation of being in the carnival capital of the world in 4 years' time, Rio de Janeiro.
Traz a lenha pro fogão, vem fazer armação. Hoje é um dia de sol, alegria de coió, é curtir o verão. Jê, 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 jê. Tá cantando essa budinha pra senhora se lembrar naquele tempo que vivia lá na roça com uma filha na barriga e com a filha pra criar.
No maior show da terra, será que eu serei o dono dessa festa? No meio de uma gente tão modesta, eu vim descendo a serra, cheio de euforia para desfilar. O mundo inteiro espera, hoje é dia do riso chorar. Diga espelho meu, se a Navelina renasceis que eu. Diga espelho meu, se a Navelina, se a Navelina, se a Navelina renasceis que eu.
Your Royal Highness, Sir Philip, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Together these past few weeks we've shared some wonderful days, haven't we? The Paralympic Games has set new records every day. Sporting records, records for crowds, for television audiences, for unbridled spirit. In this country, we will never think of sport the same way, and we will never think of disability the same way. The Paralympians have lifted the cloud of limitation. Finally, there are some famous words you can find stamped on the bottom of a product. Words that when you read them, you know, mean high quality, mean skill, mean creativity. We've stamped those words on the Olympic and Paralympic Games of London 2012. London 2012, made in Britain.
Your Royal Highness, athletes, officials, games makers, distinguished guests, Paralympic sports fans from all over the world, these have been, quite simply, amazing Paralympic Games. The Paralympic Games have truly come home and found their pathway to the future here in London. The Paralympic spirit, which saw its first sparks of life in Stoke Mandeville some 64 years ago, has followed a supercharged and surreal existence over the last 12 days. This has made the London 2012 Paralympic Games unique, and without doubt, in my mind and those of the athletes, the greatest Paralympic Games ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, to extinguish the Paralympic flame, please welcome Paralympics GB medal winners Ellie Simmons and Johnny Peacock.
The Paralympic flame has burned brightly in the cauldron of 200 petals for the past 11 days. It has been the focal point of 164 nations here in London 2012. Now's the time to say goodbye to all the Paralympic visitors by extinguishing the cauldron's flame, the most emotional and the saddest moment of the ceremony.
As the flame is shared among the cast, the global superstars Jay-Z and Rihanna arrive on stage to perform Run This Town. Rihanna, originally from Barbados, has won 5 American Music Awards, 2 Brits and 5 Grammy Awards, and has sold more than 25 million albums.
Who gonna run this town?
Let's
go!
Yeah!
Who gonna run this town tonight?
Yeah! Jay-Z Carter is an American 14-time Grammy Award winner, songwriter, music producer and artist.
Please follow the leader, so every week we are microphone feed, it's the return of the God, peace God, and ain't nobody fresher on me.
And the main musical performers of the night, Coldplay, begin their song The Scientist as we watch highlights from the last 11 days of wonderful sporting action.
I'm going back to the start.
London 2012 has been very special to all of us privileged to attend. And as the fireworks explode into the night sky, we reflect on a truly remarkable experience. The human spirit, when challenged, will always find a way to accept and overcome those challenges. Great Britain in general, and London in particular, has delivered an extraordinary Olympic and Paralympic Games, and we hope you have been able to share with us some of those magical moments. Good night and goodbye to London 2012.